Okay. Let's do it. Let's do some things, I guess. Alright. Don't really have anything to say, so we'll just play the game. I don't think there's any singing. I really hope not, because I haven't prepared. Well, went deep on that one. Sorry, Malzerino. Didn't mean to lend your ear for so long. I had no idea that was how it all came about. I read the files, but they don't go into anywhere near that level of detail. Heh, I'll bet they paint things in a much rosier light for the prosecution, too. Von Karma was the one in charge, after all. What happened with the case after that? Well, what with the ice sculptures vanishing from the victim's room, things hit a bit of a rough patch. So rough, in fact, that it took a full year before they could even reach a verdict in the trial. A year? This was back before they brought in the whole initial trial thing. You didn't have to finish up in double quick time like you do nowadays. I see. Did they ever find out how the victim's creations managed to just disappear? Well, they were sorbets of frozen desserts or whatever you want to call them. Ice, in other words. And if it's made of ice, it can melt, which is exactly what they concluded must have happened. But there's a chance that wasn't how things actually went down. What do you mean? So this place is a gallery these days, but back then it was Samson Tangaroa's place, yeah? Indeed, and the site of the IS-7 incident. Well, word is Frost's ice sculpture is suddenly back on display 18 years after that fateful day. The very sculptures the victim made. Who knows? Could be they're just modeled on the originals. But I figured it was worth coming down for a little look-see just in case. Seemed like the least I could do for poor old Gregory. Well, alrighty then. Let's go take a look at these ice marvels, shall we, kiddo? I believe they're on display on the Winter Wings. It's very snazzily known. So, Winter Wing, Winter Wing. Huh? I don't believe it. It's locked. The gallery is open for biz, but the Winter Wonder Wing's off limits? What gives? Thunder. Perhaps you should look more closely at the pamphlet we were given. The Winter Wing is over there. It is. Freaky. Could have sworn it was this one. Anywho, shall we? Time to dive on in and see what we should have seen 18 years ago. Ugh, I see they're still keeping it chilly as all heck in these rooms. Oh, I have to turn into a popsicle stick. It is the Winter Wing, you know, but you're right. It's like a freezer in here. It could be a trick of the light, but it feels like the whole room is made of ice. The temperature controls will be somewhere at the back there if memory serves. Hey, Master, can you go peep the degree count? I'm thinking a complaint to the management is in order. There is such a thing as too cold, yeah? Alright, if you insist. Take your time, mosey around, and take in the sights while you're at it. I've got a camera I need to prep for action. Feel like your pop might appreciate a picture of all this. I'll put it on his grave so we can have a gander. Of course. Huh. Fender, I can't seem to find the temperature controls you mentioned. Oh yeah, it's a little tricky if you don't know where it's at. Here, I'll have it open for you in a jiffy. Huh? Dang thing's locked. Makes sense, I guess. Wouldn't want the visitors cranking up the thermostat and melting the art. According to the pamphlet, the Winter Wing is kept at a constant 27 degrees. Oh, hey! That's colder than a snowman's cold bits. I'm gonna freeze to death in here. Guess there's only one thing for it. Somebody's getting a snuggle. Hey, what's with the icy stare? You want me to freeze to death? No. There are 2 large ice statues on display here. Guess these are remakes of Frostwork from 18 years back. Real eye-catching stuff. Ice sculpture's a heck of an art form, huh? It is. These are the works my father never got to see. To think that I get to see them instead, so many years later. Sorry to butt in while you're deep in a think hole, Milester. But would you mind looking this way a sec? This way? Beautiful. Yeah, just like that. Thunder, really? Say cheese! Please don't do that again. I don't like having my picture taken. Heh, my bad, big guy, my bad. Had to check if this whole thing was still working is all. Now that you mention it, your camera does look rather ancient. Yep, vintage model. You ever hear of an instant camera? It develops the picture right after you take the shot. Still twist my noggin trying to think how it works. I know what an instant camera is, although I've never used one. Should've known Mr. Know-It-All would know it all. You really are your father's son. Alright, step aside. I need to get some good shots of the room here. For all his joking, he looks very serious about the pictures he's taking. He must have his own theories about the IS-7 incident. Ooh, I should have been a paparazzo. These are gold, and they develop right away. Want to see? Well, since you've already shoved one in my face. Alright, Brainiac, question. What do these 2 sculptures represent? They appear to represent Taurus and Gemini, 2 constellations best observed during wintertime. Bingo! He shoots, he scores. Ooh, you're a regular encyclopedia, Master. Guess that's why this is the Winter Wing, right? Because they have the Winter Star stuff in display here. Anyway, seeing as I'm the nicest old rogue in the block, that one's yours for keepsies. Thanks. So the victim made these same Zodiac statues out of flavored ice for the contest 18 years ago. Sure did. Lovingly crafted life-size desserts. I only ever saw the old ones in photos, though. But these are the spit of the originals. So this is what you wanted to show me? Yep. Think Gregory would have wanted you to see him, too. And I may not have had it in me to come here on my own. Sorry to drag you along. Not at all. I'm happy to be able to see where my father's final case unfolded. Good to hear you say so, Palio. Let's say we grab another quick snap to commemorate this heartwarming occasion. Absolutely not! There's a huge block of ice on display here. It must be incredibly heavy, though maybe not what with it being hollow on the inside. There's a constellation engraved into the surface, along with some explanatory text. The Pleiades, known to some as Subaru, they form part of the larger constellation of Taurus. But why cram so many stars into one tiny part of a single constellation? I guess people in ancient times were hugely careful about such things. Alrighty, I got the shots I wanted. Shall we scoot on over to another wing and see what's cooking? Might as well do the full tour all here. I suppose so. Ah! What was that? It came from the fountain room. Come on, let's go see what's up. There's someone on the ground. And is that? Larry, what are you doing here? Actually, never mind that. What on earth is going on? Edgy! You should have seen it. It was awful. Just calm down and tell me why there is an unconscious man on the floor. I didn't do anything. He just fell down in front of me. Wait, I know this guy. Is everything all right? Don't you know it's rude to make a racket in an art gallery, you naughty boys? Wait, this smell. He's still breathing, but I know these symptoms. It's not safe, Miles. We need to get everybody out of here. Everyone, with me. There isn't a moment to lose. There's poison gas coming out of that room. How's the victim doing, Fender? Not good. He inhaled a lot of gas. He's still out and it sounds like it's pretty serious. But the paramedic said there were no sign of external injury and that he was conscious before it happened. Anyway, he's alive, just barely. He's lucky we found him when we did. But like I said, he's not out of the woods yet. They put him in the medical room with a specialist. I see. I couldn't help noticing that it seemed like you knew him, Fender. Sure do. That was Carmelo Gusto. He was here back when the whole IS-7 thing went down. The confectioner. So he was here 18 years ago too. Any oozles. This guy here seems like he's in rude health. Old pal of yours, Mazzarino? Yes, something like that. I'm glad you're okay, Larry. Something like that? Are you serious, Edgy? You've known me since elementary school. Tuckers has feelings, why don't you? Anyway, you know you're supposed to call me Larista Nim when I'm dressed like this. So no more Larry, okay? Got that? This is Larry Butts. He's a bit of a troublemaker, but he's one of my only friends from back when we were little kids. Ever since he developed a passion for art, he's been trying to make it big as Loris Donim. But new name or not, he's still the same old Larry. Whoa, grade school buddies. I need to go tell Gregory about this. He'll be over the moon to hear you have a pal. He was always worried you never click with anybody. Hear that, Edgy? You're lucky to have a friend like me. I never knew I was the cause of such worries for my father. Never mind that now, Larry. What are you doing here? Laurice, Edgy! How many times do I have to tell you it's Laurice? What are you doing here? Hey, what's with the demon eyes? Alright, I'll talk. Just stop looking at me like that. Good. Now talk. You want to know why I'm here? Why the heck do you think? For my art, of course. Oh, and I'm coming on a date here with Lulu soon, so I thought I'd better scope the place out. So not actually for your art at all? Laurice, my man, an artist and a romantic. You have to introduce me to this lady friend of yours. Oh, sure. It's nice to have somebody take an interest for once. Spare me. Oh, by the way, Lauricio. Did you notice anything when you found the victim? Nothing in particular. Didn't you say you'd seen something awful? Oh, that. The old guy, he disappeared and then splat. He was on the floor. Scared the life out of me. But for once, I had nothing to do with any of it. Don't look so proud. That's the least we should be able to hope for. Honored guest, I can only apologize for the trouble you've experienced. I'm Judy Bound, the gallery manager. Another person from the IS-7 incident. Good to see you, Judes. Mr. Fender, it's always a pleasure. She was at the reception desk when we arrived, so she's the one in charge here. I can't believe you had to go through something so awful, and on our first day in business. Hey, quit that. It's not your fault. Oh wait, I guess I better introduce you guys. Judy, meet Miles Edgeworth, son of the late great Gregory. Really? You're Mr. Edgeworth's son? Well... Isn't this fabulous? The great man's son here with us. 18 long years have passed, but now look, he's here at last. It's very lovely to meet you, Mr. Fine Attorney number 2. Judy, that was the bomb. I see you're in good voice as ever. Miles Edgeworth, prosecutor. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oh, you're a prosecutor. I'm so sorry. Forgive me for jumping to conclusions. She's very polite, but there's something strange about her. Hey, Judy, can I, get an autograph? You can write it in here. Well, if you're sure you'd even want such a thing. Why do you want it, Larry? Rude! You know who she is, right? Come on, Master. You don't keep up with show business or anything. Guess that's no big surprise. What's going on? Why are they looking at me like that? Judy here's a living legend. It's not just TV. Movies, musicals, chart-topping hits, you name it. Oh, don't be silly. I'm just a humble art gallery owner now. I finally quit the biz for good. I finished shooting my last movie just the other day, in fact. Some of my co-stars were even kind enough to say that they would come visit once we opened. Anyway, here you are, and good luck with your artistic endeavors. Thanks so much, Judy. I'll treasure it till my dying day. You and me are peas in the pod, Laurice. Peas in the gosh dang pod. How lovely for you both. Larry, could you go practice your drawing somewhere or something? You did come all the way to an art gallery after all. It would be a shame to waste the opportunity. A real artist drawing over exhibits. What an honor. Heh, guess even you can have a bright idea once in a while, Edgy. Alright, Judy. Seeing as you were so nice about it, I guess I will. Be right back. He's a real live wire, that one. That's one way of putting it. I can only apologize. By the way, there was another woman with you before. Where is she now? You mean Delicia? Delicia Scone! She's in the medical room helping to care for Mr. Gusto. I call it the medical room, but it's nothing quite so grand, of course. I couldn't stay with them as I'm the only one on staff, and I can't leave the gallery unattended for long. Delicia Scone. We've heard that name before, haven't we, Fender? Sure have. Sounds like our IS-7 bingo card is complete. Huh. Something's telling me this isn't a coinkydink. Perhaps I could offer you gentlemen a cup of tea. A drop of the old Judy-bound special blend. Why not, for old time's sake? That would be lovely. Thank you. Now, if you'll both excuse me, I better go and explain things to the other visitors. You go do your thing, Jews. Thanks again. This aroma. Ceylon, I believe. Let's give it a try. This is a fine blend. A top-quality Ceylon, indeed. Its citrus aroma is said to improve one's ability to concentrate, right? Heh. Your old man said those exact words 18 years ago. Really takes me back. There's just one difference. Jude's cooled the sausages back then. Not today, though, it seems. Anyway, don't you think this is all a little odd? Every single person from an 18-year-old case all summoned in the same place at the same time? Yes, it almost feels as if an investigation is in order. Mr. Gumshoe, sir. I mean, what? I'm Gumshoe. What? Well, are you sure you two aren't the ones that got poisoned? Come on, bring it in. No way. Besides, you're both doing just fine. Gummy and I got ourselves all worked up over nothing. Detective Gumshoe, what were you thinking bringing Kay with you? Sorry, sir. I knew it was dangerous, what with the poison gas and all, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran, but I just couldn't shake her off. When it comes to running away, the great thief right here is the world champ. Then run away. Don't chase the poor detective. All set, sir. Just say the word and I'll head in there and start investigating. You guys stay here. That gas could still be dangerous. All right. We're counting on you, detective. Good luck in there, Dickie boy. No way. Gummy almost looked like a real detective. I'm so proud of him. But he is a real detective. This is Edgeworth speaking. Mr. Edgeworth, looks like the gas is mostly dissipated, sir. Very good, detective. Now calm down and tell me what you see. Yes, sir. First up, the exhibits. There's a statue of two people on the left side. And on the right, some kind of two-horned animal. Wait, a statue of two people and a two-horned animal. That sounds familiar. In fact, it sounds identical to the display in the Winter Wing. Other than that, the place is looking pretty damp. The sprinkler sprayed the place good. Must be what stopped the gas from spreading. Sprinklers. Are there any signs of a fire? No, sir. And the fire alarm hasn't been triggered either. Sprinklers look like the type that detect heat and smoke. When they detect something, they send an alarm, either fire or smoke, to the security room. Guess they read the gas and smoke and triggered the smoke alarm that way. And was anyone in the security room when that alarm went off? This place only has one employee, and that's Judy Bound, the manager. And she was at the reception desk across the security room the whole time since the gallery opened. So she heard the alarm from across the way and turned on the sprinklers. Yep, seems they can only be switched on manually, and only from there. Wouldn't want the arc getting soaked for no good reason, I guess. And if it's manual, you can maybe even check how bad the fire was and try to get some stuff out first. So the security setup is geared around protecting the exhibits. It makes sense in an art gallery, I guess. And one more thing, it's freezing in here. This isn't the autumn wing, it's the deep midwinter wing. so the autumn wing is cold too. I checked the temperature. It's 26.5 degrees in here, sir. Why is the autumn ring being kept at the same temperature as the winter ring? That's about all I've got for now. I'll let you know if I find anything else, sir. Understood. Thank you, Detective Gumshoe. What did Gummy have to say? He said that the autumn wing is actually quite wintry. Huh? I don't get it. I'm wondering what it could mean myself, but it's a bit hard to tell from out here. We should try to get in there as soon as the police are done with their investigation. Amen to that. We need to see what the deal is for ourselves. Is there anybody else who might know something in the meantime? Oh yeah, there is one guy. Mal's best bud. His what? Ugh, if we have to, and I guess we have to. Wait, that's... Okay, didn't expect to see you here. You're looking as fresh-faced as ever. Yeah, long time no see, Larry, right? So here's the deal, Kay. I'm Larice right now. You see, I'm also a bit of an artist. Ah, so it's your alias. I like it. Good to see you, Larice. I always knew you were a nice, thoughtful kid. Unlike some people. I have some questions for you, Larry. What the? How am I a suspect? Just because I found the guy doesn't mean I did the crime. I never said you did. I just need you to tell us what you saw. You said you saw something awful. How so exactly? Look, I didn't see anything. I didn't do anything, okay? I don't think I did anyway. Whoa, Chief. You didn't sound too sure of yourself at the end there. There's something you should know about him, Fender. When something smells, it's usually the butts. We've been saying that about Larry for 26 years now. His ability to attract trouble is legendary, for want of a better word. His ability to cause trouble, too. I suppose I better find out what he did this time. Our aim is to uncover anything that Larry might be hiding. However, I didn't see anything, I didn't do anything, and you can't prove otherwise! It's almost impossible for him to keep his cool. I'll need to bide my time when he gets agitated and wait for him to calm down. Let's start by asking him to go into detail about what he's doing here. He shouldn't prove to be too much of a challenge, so let's get this over with. Mind chess! Commence! Why exactly did you come to the gallery today? What kind of question is that? What, you think I don't belong in a gallery or something? Hey, if you're gonna ignore me, then I'm gonna paint your portrait. And when I'm done, I'll scribble all over it. I'm joking, okay? I never scribble on one of my pieces. How could I? They're valuable artworks. According to you, perhaps. I imagine I might struggle to agree. Oh, laugh it up, funny guy. Luckily, some people actually believe in my work. She's called Lulu, okay? And she says my pictures are masterpieces. So if she likes something, I'll draw it for her. Anything at all. And where is this Lulu? How come you're here alone? What, a guy can't be apart from his girlfriend for 1 second? I have my own life too, you know. Fine. Lulu said she's a Gemini, okay? So I thought I could do a sketch of the statue to show her on our date. And I expect you're pretty proud of this sketch. Not so much this time, actually. But, you know, it being her sign and all, I just thought maybe she might kind of like it. Heh, how very like you to try to tell me nothing and give so much away in the process. So to summarize, you came here today to draw a sketch of the Gemini statue for your girlfriend, Lulu. What? How did you figure all that out? From your incessant prattling. You just can't help yourself, can you? Fine, then I won't say another word. Larry may want to keep his mouth shut now, but I'll have my answers one way or another. Let's ask him what he did after he arrived here at the gallery. We'll soon see what he's hiding. It's just a matter of time. Alright, tell me what you did once you arrived here.
What's the big idea? Why are you staring at me like that? I don't remember. I didn't have a pamphlet, so I didn't know what was where. I just kind of hung around by the fountain.
You didn't receive a pamphlet when you paid your entrance fee at the reception desk.
Huh? You mean entry it's not free to get in here?
You mean to tell me that you entered without paying?
I'm sorry, okay? It wasn't deliberate. There wasn't anybody at the reception desk is all. So I thought entry must be free.
You're saying Ms. Bound wasn't at the reception desk all the time.
Yeah, but it looked like there was maybe somebody in the little room opposite.
Interesting. According to Detective Gumshoe, Ms. Bound had to enter the security room to activate the sprinkler system. I expect she wasn't at the reception desk because she was busy responding to the incident.
And right after she finally got the place open for business, too. Poor Judy. The Winter Wing, the gallery's greatest attraction, and it's gonna be ruined now.
You say you don't have a pamphlet, and yet you seem to know all about the Winter Wing. For example, that the Gemini statue you came here to draw just so happens to be in said room. Therefore, it was your intention to visit the Winter Wing all along, wasn't it?
How? How did you get me again? Fine, you're right. I came here for the Gemini statue. And yeah, I came here to visit the Winter Wing. I won't deny it.
Larry's not one to confess so easily. Then again, he's always managed to surprise me in unusual ways. Let's see what more he can tell us about the Winter Wing. I expect even Larry has found his feet a little by now. I'll have to watch his reactions more carefully and see what information I can glean from him. That's it. I'm done with you, Larry. Go home!
You sure? I mean, I'll totally leave if that's cool. I was just thinking of dropping by Lulu's anyhow. No, wait! I didn't mean... My mistake. Seriously, Edgy? I really think it's time you started taking responsibility for the stuff you say, don't you? Yo! Scolded by Larry.
Forgive me. Would you mind giving me just a little more of your time?
If I have to, I guess. Maybe you could sweeten the deal with a free dinner?
Ugh, very well. I must be more careful about what I say. Larry, be honest. Did you enter the Winter Wing?
What is that? Is that suspicion I see in your eyes? I try to get in there, sure, but...
You tried to get in, but you couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to get in there, but... That old guy came out and fell to the ground, and like I said, it was all pretty shocking.
So you were unable to enter the Winter Wing because the victim emerged and collapsed in front of you?
Yeah, he came out of the Winter Wing door, and then down he went.
But wasn't it the Autumn Wing that the victim came out of?
If that stupid poison gas thing had never happened, I'd be in there happily sketching away right now.
Larry seems to have the Autumn and Winter Wings mixed up. Regardless, it seems his aim really was to make a sketch of one of the statues. This could be a useful clue. What did you see in the Winter Wing, Larry?
You don't let up, do you? I told you, I didn't see anything. Galleries are nice and all, but I kind of changed my mind once I got here. Thought I'd go meet my girlfriend instead.
I think it's time to deploy my clue. Didn't you say you came here to make a sketch of one of the statues for your girlfriend? You gave up on that a little easily, didn't you? Surely you saw something, even if you were distracted by the victim's collapse.
Well, I did not see something. But that doesn't prove that I did see something totally too terrifying either, does it?
Really, Larry, you could at least try to make this a little harder for me. I put it to you, Larry Butts, that you did in fact see something totally terrifying.
Yeah! How do you do it, Edgy? Are you some kind of mind reader? Fine, I guess there's no point trying to keep it a secret any longer.
I'm not sure there's much point in you trying to keep any secrets given your track record. It wasn't exactly the most edifying use of my time, but that's checkmate.
I couldn't help staring at that Gemini statue. My eyes were drawn to it.
You keep talking about a Gemini statue. But there's no way you saw what you think you saw. It's simply not possible.
What do you mean? You think I saw a ghost statue or something?
Larry's still laboring under the misconception that he was looking at the Winter Wing. This piece of evidence shows us what Larry was really looking at.
Take that!
Take a look at this pamphlet. The Autumn Wing features sculptures depicting Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries. Not only that, but I've seen the statue depicting Gemini in the Winter Wing for myself. Which means that whatever you saw, it can't have been a statue of Gemini.
Guess that makes sense.
Why is he not more surprised by that?
It did seem pretty weird now that I think about it. One of the two people did look like a goddess. So the other stuff, I guess that wasn't my imagination either.
Other stuff?
You're interested in it too, aren't you, Edgy? Great, let me show you.
Show me what exactly?
I drew a picture of it all. Got the whole scene down exactly as I saw it. But I'm still not that confident in my work, so, well, I want to see. Really? All right, here.
What on earth? It's grotesque. You're trying to tell me that the statue is crying tears of blood.
I have to say, Larice, it's pretty scary. Right? Because it was scary. It was supposed to be a statue of Gemini, but it up and turned into a goddess right before my eyes. It freaked me out so bad, I screamed out loud.
So he wasn't reacting to the victim collapsing in front of him after all. Wait, when you say it turned into a goddess, what do you mean exactly?
What do you mean, what do I mean? The bottom half was suddenly a fish. That's what I mean.
A goddess with a fishy bottom half? Sounds like Pisces to me. I heard it's all based on this legend of a goddess and her son turning into a fish to escape some baddie.
Wow, really? I thought Pisces was just two plain old fish. Edgy, do you think the statue's cursed? I mean, tears of blood turning into a fish. That's some pretty cursed stuff right there.
Don't be a fool. Imagine you simply mistook one statue for the other.
Oh, look at you, tugging it carefully into your organizer.
I simply thought I might have a use for it later. Maybe in the bathroom.
You're the worst, Edgy, the worst!
Kind of freaky-deaky though, huh? A statue with a bottom half that changes shape? I'm pretty keen to find out what went down in the Autumn Wing, aren't you? I suppose I am, yes. Could there be some kind of trick to the Pisces statue, perhaps? Yes, Edgeworth speaking.
I'm just about done in here, sir. There's no danger from the gas anymore. You can come in now.
Thanks. Good work, Detective. It seems it's finally safe to enter the Autumn Wing.
The good detective sure has impeccable timing. Come on, let's go take a look. I want to see this Pisces statue. You're going in there, Kay. Then maybe I should come along too.
Did you really think I was going to leave you out here on your own? I know better than that. Alright, everyone, to the Autumn Wing. Here we are at last, and it really does look a lot like the Winter Wing.
Glad you can make it. Oh, hey there. You're, Harry, was it? Good to see you, Harry. No, for the last time, the name is Larice Donim.
Detective, your report if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Okay, so first off, I found a blowtorch. The nozzle was still warm when I found it, so I guess it was used pretty recently.
Was somebody using it to heat something? Was the stepladder already like that when you entered?
Yeah, I guess it was used by whoever let out the gas. The gas was inside the case until someone opened the lid.
Is that so? The Pisces statue.
Huh? You're sure up on your constellation, sir. You know what the one in the other case is, too?
This is the Autumn Wing, so I imagine it should be Capricorn.
Guess there's no fooling you, sir. I thought it was supposed to be Taurus. That weird cloth that's draped around it kind of tripped me up. Isn't that a piece of luminous cloth from way back then? What's that doing here? Now you have evidence in the I-7 incident too. Taking a look around. It seems there's a piece of luminous cloth on each of the other cases too. Yeah, and that just makes you want to see what's hiding underneath it real bad. Sure, let me whip them all right off for you. Wow, they're beautiful. So the transformation Larry witnessed. Could it have been the moment when the cloth around the icy statue's lower half fell away? See, Edgy? See? I wasn't imagining things, and I wasn't mistaken. Listen, Mouster. I think we can all agree, this room is fishier than a bucket of fish. My hunch is that somebody deliberately tried to make this room look just like the Winter Wing. Yes, I was thinking exactly the same thing. They even covered the statues up in just such a way to make them look similar. The cloth over the bottom half, the Pisces and Gemini statues look almost the same. Did it for Capricorn. Cover his bottom half up and he looks pretty much like Taurus. The other two can't be fixed as easily, so covering their case up completely was the only answer. But somebody went to some lengths to disguise the Autumn Wing as the Winter Wing. I'd say we need to take a closer look at things in here, wouldn't you, Fender? Mr. Winter and Judge Cavell. What the heck are you guys doing here? You're the last thing I need. This is my scene, you hear? Mr. Edgeworth, it seems I have failed in my duty yet again. I pray one day to make you see that your presence is not required at every crime scene. Gah. And that co-opting the good detective for your own ends is neither right nor good. I will have to give serious consideration as to how the Goddess of Justice would have me judge you. You got it all wrong. It was me who asked Mr. Edgeworth to help, not the other way around. It was? Well then, you know what that means, it's Ed Flatfoot. Oh, you mean... Exactly. Your, salary check is taking a hit. Bet you're looking forward to payday now. Heh, always wanted to say that. Man, getting a wage cut from you of all people. Not so fast, Mr. Winter. I was simply assisting with the police's investigation as a witness and bystander. Detective Gumshoe is entirely in the right. Oh, he is, huh? So you're saying I should give him a bonus instead? That's not what I'm saying at all. Hey, I wouldn't mind a little salary bump. Your compassion and generosity are truly heartwarming, Eustace. But you must take into account past transgressions when making judgments that concern the future. And I hereby judge Mr. Edgeworth and his associates unfit to tread the hallowed ground of this scene. What? But we only just got here. The Goddess of Justice has conferred her blessings on Eustace, and Eustace alone. By which you mean this is Mr. Winter's case. That's exactly what she means. It's time for the warm-up to get off the stage. After all, I solved this one already. I have a suspect lined up at everything. What did you say? A suspect already? Oh! Who else but your artist friend over there? Huh? Me? Me? What's going on, Edgy? Your guess is as good as mine. I can't even begin to imagine how the boy's mind works. Ha ha ha! Unsurprising that you lack the attitude to understand the winning mindset. Lack the attitude. Something tells me he doesn't know the real winning turn of phrase. Well put, Eustace. Mr. Edgeworth does indeed lack a certain aptitude. Yeah, exactly. Where's your aptitude, smart guy? Wow, he's totally shameless. Underestimate my information gathering skills at your own peril. Before we came here, we dropped by the medical room to ask the doctor there a few questions. And he told me where the poison gas came from. And what might that have been? It was, it's this chemical you find everywhere. Can't think of the name just now, though. Wait there a second. Let me just call him real quick. Perhaps I can answer your question while Eustace is on the telephone. Why let him make the call if you know the answer? The gas was created by mixing two specific chemicals. Ubiquium and asphyxion. What kind of chemicals are they? Ubiquium is a red liquid used in all manner of everyday products. Paints and dishwashing liquids, among various others. On its own is entirely benign. So it's something anyone could get their hands on. Precisely, but the same cannot be said for asphyxion. That does sound nasty. What is it used for? It is the main ingredient in a product called Infesticide Ultra. It is pure white in color and is unavailable to the average consumer. In fact, it is nigh impossible for members of the public to attain it here in this country. As such, we are currently investigating where it might have come from. I'm back, and I know the name of the chemical now. Don't waste your breath. Judge Gavel informed us already. Huh? Oh, great. That'll make this quicker, I guess. So the source of the gas, ubiquium, is used in paint and stuff, right? And there was somebody here at the gallery today who brought paints with them. Your friend, the artist. You can't accuse us because of that. Objection to the paints on that palette in your hand. Edgy, is this kid okay? He seems a little... Indeed, I haven't known him long, but he's a little prone to jump into the wrong conclusions. Hey, quit talking about me like I'm not even here. Ignore them, Eustace. They're simply intimidated by you, nothing more. Why not give them yet another reason to fear you with one of your winning deductions? Winning? Yeah, good idea. Get a load of this, losers. Our friend the artist here won the race to find the victim and was the first on the scene, correct? And the gas the victim was poisoned with is made from ubiquium, which, as we know, is found in paint. He was carrying paint in his person, and he was one winning stride away from the victim, which surely makes him the winner on our list of suspects. Right, Gavel? You think so too, right? It is a possibility that certainly can't be discounted. Well, would the artist like to share his version of events? Did you leave red paint at the scene of the crime? Or something more sinister, the catalyst for a cloud of toxic gas, perhaps?
Think I might have left my heart there, you know? And you might have picked it up.
I would be careful what you say to me. My gavel is already primed to deliver a guilty verdict.
Objection!
Ignore him, please, Your Honor. It's for the best.
Objection!
Quit stalling. You can't run away from the fact that my reasoning is flawless. So admit defeat and crawl on out of here with your tails between your legs, because I win!
Ha! I have better things to do than pick holes in your faulty logic, but I don't suppose I have much choice.
Objection!
Your deductions are anything but winning, I'm afraid. Unless you're looking to win a prize for incoherence.
Heh, so you agree that I deserve a prize?
What you deserve is to be set right. The gas came from within the case containing the sculpture of Pisces.
It did, and it was created by the artist guy, with the red paint that we know is full of ubiquium.
Allow me to offer you a bit of advice, one prosecutor to another. It always helps to listen carefully to others. The gas is created when ubiquium is mixed with another substance, asphyxium. Paint containing ubiquium alone wouldn't create any kind of gas at all.
It wouldn't? I thought they said the guy was asphyxiated with ubiquium.
So you're telling me all this was based on a mishearing of the forensics report?
Gag!
The gas had already done its work by the time Mr. Butts found the victim. Perhaps it's your own aptitude you should be worrying about.
My aptitude? What does that even mean?
You literally used the word 5 minutes ago? It means one's ability, or how suited one is to a particular task, Eustace. And attitude, the other word you misused only minutes ago as well, is another thing entirely.
I get what you're doing. You're making fun of me again.
What I am doing is demonstrating that you do not have the aptitude required to lead up this investigation.
Overruled.
Before you go any further, you might wish to consider some of the flaws in your own statements. And what flaws might those be? Firstly, that you cannot prove your artist friend did not enter the autumn wing. That's... And secondly, that you cannot prove the red paint did not have something to do with the crime. But the paint isn't important on its own, surely. What's important is the combination of the red ubiquium with white asphyxian. How exactly were the two substances introduced to one another? Surely we need to figure that out before anything else. Indeed we do. And that is what Eustace will be investigating next. Or what he would already be investigating had you not been here making needless trouble. We are not here to make trouble. Quite the opposite, in fact. We're here to help.
Are you saying you know how the gas was made? I don't believe you.
I can certainly point you toward a vital clue as to how it was done. He is bluffing, Eustace. Ignore him.
It's fine, Gavel. He's clearly lying. Might as well let him talk himself even further into a corner.
If you are sure.
Come on then, show me what you've got. What shows how the gas was created, huh?
Take that!
You're saying this somehow shows us how the chemicals were mixed to make the poison gas? Heh, that's exactly what I'm saying, yes. Thank you for noticing. Well, they do say I have a good eye. The red tears Mr. Butch saw. That was the ubiquity. Wait a second. You're saying the statue cried the stuff out? What, so our upper some kind of evil spirit? How much time am I going to have to waste taking through them step by step? The red tears alone would not have been enough to create the gas. They must have mixed with something else inside that case. What? And what evidence do you have that that's what happened? The evidence is right there in the sketch that I just showed you. I need to point out the part that shows that the two liquids had mixed together.
Take that!
Observe the pool of pink liquid beneath the Pisces statue's glass case. This clearly shows that the two chemicals mixed. What? Wait, I don't get it. How does that prove that some ubiquitin mixed with some asphyxian? We have an artist with us. Why don't we ask him? Larry, you claim to be something of a painter. I imagine you have some experience mixing colors. What happens when you mix red with white?
Don't treat me like a dum-dum, Edgy. I didn't graduate from junior high, you know. Any idiot knows that red and white make pink. I mean, there's variations. You get your rose pinks and your baby pinks.
Hold it!
That'll be more than enough, thank you. Do you see what I'm getting at now, Mr. Winner?
Oh, I think I do.
Ubiquitin is red, asphyxian is white. Mix the two together, and you get pink. That's what the pink liquid is. Yes, very good. You got there in the end. Yes! Interesting.
I think you finally convinced him?
Overruled.
Mr. Edgeworth, you have raised a possibility, nothing more. We cannot know for sure that this shows the result of the two chemicals having mixed. And besides, the sketch you are attempting to enter as evidence was drawn by a suspect. How can we possibly hope to rely on its veracity?
Hey, I drew everything exactly as I saw it. A true artist never lies or embellishes the truth.
Forgive me, but I did not ask for your opinion.
Ugh, she's a cold one, but I like it.
You may rest assured, Your Honor, that I mean to prove my theory to all of our satisfaction.
Overruled.
It may not be wise to jeopardize your position any further, Mr. Edgeworth. Especially as there is another question to which you have yet to provide a satisfactory answer. How can you prove that this man did not enter the Autumn Wing? Until you are able to, there is little more to discuss.
Wait, maybe the victim could help us out with that.
Mr. Gusto, he is still unconscious and in critical condition.
He is? Oh.
Now, if you don't mind, Eustace needs to carry out his own investigation of this area. If you would be so kind as to leave him in peace. For the presiding judge's sake, I pray to the goddess that you need not ever be summoned to testify. Now then, is there something you wish to say? Mr. Artist?
If you could just hold that pose for a moment there, Ms. Ice Queen.
I am Justice Verity Gavel, and I would be grateful if you would dispense with the childish epithets.
Oh, finally she tells me your name. Nice to meet you, Verity. Name's Laurice Donim, but you can call me Laurice.
You could stop wasting the court's time, Mr. Donim.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's just, there's something I forgot to mention. The door was locked. I tried to open it, and then the old guy came tumbling out.
It does appear that the door can be unlocked from the inside. However, that does not necessarily mean that it was locked at the time as you claim. Without proof, your statement carries little weight, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Well, as it happens, I can back our pal here up on that.
What?
Yup, we tried to come in here too, but it's just like the guy said. It was locked up tight. Ain't that so, Malzarino?
It is. I distinctly remember how it went.
So, Winterwing, Winterwing. Huh? I don't believe it. It's locked. The gallery's open for biz, but the Winter Wondering's off limits. What gives?
Prior to the incident with the gas, it was not possible to enter this room from the outside.
Overruled.
And what is to say that your suspicious friend was not here with the victim the entire time?
Objection!
The fact that he didn't suffer the ill effects of the gas. Search it for a gas mask if you like. I doubt you'll find one. I see.
But I suppose we will have to take you at your collective word.
That was a little too easy.
Well, Judge Cavell, do you accept that Mr. Butts is no longer a valuable suspect, and that once again Mr. Winter's deductions have fallen short of the mark?
Ha ha ha! What are you talking about? I just need some more information, that's all. You can't blame a guy for being a little hasty with his deductions. You know it's not cool for a prosecutor to be saying stuff like that, right?
Very well. Then perhaps we should call our next suspect. Mr. Donin, you may step down from the stand.
Huh? Go, you mean? But I was enjoying our time together, Verity. Let me stick around, please.
Overruled.
Show no mercy. Squish my heart into a goopy mush. I love it.
Who exactly is this next suspect? The pharmacist Delicious Scone. Your artist friend may have struggled to lay his hands on a bottle of Infesticide Ultra, but someone in her line of work would surely have a better idea of where such a thing might be acquired. The court hereby calls for its 10-minute recess. Eustace, we will go and fetch the suspect. Your winning smile will bring her running, I am sure.
My winning? Of course, Cavell. Let's go get her at once. Hey, Detective Flatfoot, you carry on investigating while I'm gone, okay?
Sure. Is it possible? Could Judge Cavell have suspected Miss Scone from the start?
Now that you mention it, she wasn't helping Mr. Winter like she usually was, huh?
What exactly is your angle here, Judge Cavell?
Okay. I think there are like 2 or 3 more parts to this. I think it's 3. I'm gonna cry. There's so much dubbing left to do. Alright, I can make it through. I think. Let's go. They sure are taking their time. I thought this was supposed to be a 10-minute recess. Huh, sorry to keep you losers waiting, but wait no longer. I won the race to find Delicious Scone, and here she is. Hello, dears. This lovely young man said you wanted to speak to me. Delicious Scone, purveyor of the most wondrous wares a pharmacist can offer at your service. Delicious to my pals, and even Miss Delicious to some. You can call me the winner, and I'll call you whatever I want. All right, Winnie Pooh, whatever you say. It is lovely to meet you, dearie. So much for call me the winner. Oh, have we met before, young man? Heh, get a load of this, Delicia. That's Miles Edgeworth, Gregory's son. Well, I never. It's a pleasure to meet you, Milesy Smiles. If you must address me by my given name, just Miles will do. Oh ho ho! Greggy Penleg's boy, and all grown up too. Make me feel my age, why don't you? I wonder just how old she is. Eustace, I believe we have some questions for our pharmacist. Oh yeah! What brings you to the gallery today, Miss Scone? Why, I came to see your dear old Moody Judy, of course. We've been fast friends for 18 long years, and no one's going to stop me visiting her now. I understand that you helped look after Mr. Gusto in the immediate aftermath of the attack. Oh, I didn't do much, really. Just whipped up a quick antidote for the dear old doctor. Wow, you doing an antidote just like that? Oh, yes, dear. As long as I have the right ingredients, I can throw together just about any medicine you like. It certainly helped that the medical room was well equipped, though. We were much better off treating him here than losing vital minutes taking him to the hospital. Anyway, we did what we could. The rest, well, that's up to him. And do you know the victim, Miss Delicious? Oh, yes. Well, sort of. It's been 18 years since I last saw him. Apparently, he's famous these days. One of the best confectioners in the world, or so they say. Interesting. So he's a well-known public figure. Oh, yes, dear. He was on the news and everything. Confectionery crafting king of the world, they said. Wow, so the old dog really went to junk following up his game, just like he said he would. Perhaps if we could proceed to the matter at hand. Miss Scone, are you familiar with the substance known as Infecticide Ultra? Of course, dear. You use it to get rid of you-know-whats. Oh, it's awfully strong, though. That's why they don't sell it in the shops. Might I ask what you mean by you-know-whats? The little blighters that frighten life out of poor innocent ladies like yours truly, that's what. Ghastly little creatures, running around people's nice clean kitchens and terrorizing them. Oh, yeah, I get it. Those. Thank you, Miss Scone. One more question, if you don't mind. Are you aware of what happens when the chemicals Asphyxion and Ubiquium are combined? Oh, yes. It's right there in the Infesticide Ultra instructions. Do not mix with products containing Ubiquium. Ever. Because if you do, they react with each other and make a horrible poisonous gas. What was it again? Effects of inhalation include respiratory complications and, well, death. And poor old Gusty very nearly didn't make it. To make that much gas, you need, probably 500 milliliters of each chemical, I'd say. She certainly talks like a skilled pharmacist. Ubiquium's awfully thick and sticky, and it heats up pretty quickly indeed. It's also bright red and smells mighty fresh. Oh, and cheap as chips. That's why they use it in everything. Asphyxion's more watery and it's white in color. That will do, thank you. You are clearly well informed, Miss Scone. As well I should be, dearie. After all, Infesticide Ultra is made by the company I work for. Oh, but before you get the wrong idea, they don't go around handing out free samples. As I say, it's awfully, terribly dangerous. You couldn't buy it even if you wanted to. Yes, Miss Scone. Very interesting indeed. I think that tells us all we need to know. Strange. I thought she suspected Miss Scone. But something in that smile makes me wonder if she has some other angle in mind. What is it, Detective Flatfoot? Any developments to report? Yes, sir. Turns out the sculpture's glass display case is open from the top. Huh, that's rather unusual.
And the temperature inside can be adjusted too, all the way down to 0 degrees. The Pisces case was kept at 26 degrees. Dang near got my hand stuck to it.
We're lucky you escaped alive. Anything more relevant to the case?
Yeah, they found something on the underside of the top part of the Pisces case. Traces of ubiquium.
Oh, now we're talking. That's odd. If there was ubiquium stuck to it, it should have stayed stuck. After all, at 26 degrees it would have been frozen solid. It would, huh? So, how did things wind up as they are now?
I think Kay might be able to help us figure out just that. Or at least Mr. Thief might.
Ha! You guys are that desperate to get on my good side, huh? Fine. I don't know what the heck you're talking about, but take it anyway. Can't believe I'm taking orders from this guy. Whatever, anything for the truth.
Before we get too carried away, the Goddess of Justice has no need of your help. We will find the truth ourselves.
Youch, why so frosty, Judge G? Your baby prosecutor just gave us the big thumbs up. What's the issue here? Oh, wait. Don't tell me the committee has some dirty little secret it doesn't want us finding out.
I am not required to explain myself to you, but if you feel that you absolutely must participate in the investigation, perhaps you can prove to me that it will be worth our while to keep you around. What exactly does she have in mind here? Who triggered the release of the poison gas? If you can answer this question, I will consent to your participation in the investigation.
You heard the lady, Smiles. Somebody opened the Pisces case and let out that gas. Considering what we've learned so far, there's only one person it could possibly be, no?
Yes, the answer is indisputable. In that case, please kindly provide it now. Who released the poison gas?
Take that!
The victim, Carmelo Gusto, is the only person to have entered the Autumn Wing. Thus, only he could have opened the case. Correct. That appears to be the only logical answer. Very well. I will permit your participation in this investigation to continue. However, yet if at any point I feel you are contributing nothing of value, you will be removed immediately. Understood. Even if Mr. Gusto did open the case, we still have no idea why.
Alright, Mr. Edgeworth, tell me what you want to see.
Let's use the data we've collected to recreate the scene before the poison gas went off.
On it! Ah, don't scare me like that!
So this is what you were talking about. You're Mr. Thief. Let's begin by examining the Pisces sculpture. There's a generous amount of ubiquium frozen to the underside of the top part of the case.
Yeah, which is what's keeping that lid on real tight.
The actual glass lid is all cracked though, right? Somebody really went to town on your little house there, huh, Pisces?
And do we have any idea how the glass lid might have come to be so cracked?
Well, it doesn't look like the outer-facing side of the glass suffered any damage.
I see, so we have a cracked piece of glass that we know was ice cold on its interfacing side. And we also know that it wasn't damaged in any direct way on its outer-facing surface. Thoughts?
Ice cold makes me think of the way you glare at people, sir.
Cracks make me think about those deeply etched lines in your forehead.
It was cracked by that expansion, and applying heat to ice cold glass on the outside will cause it to crack.
Huh. Well, I appreciate the science lesson, but why is it all heat cracked in the first place?
Why indeed, a heat-cracked glass lid lined on its underside with frozen ubiquium.
You look like the cat that got the cream, Malzarino. You know what happened, don't you?
I certainly do, and what's more, I know how Mr. Gusto opened the case.
What? But you had to give me a chance to figure out first.
It would have been quite the wait.
Well, don't keep it to yourself, Edgeworth. I want answers. How did Mr. Gusto open the case?
Take that!
The blowtorch showed signs of having been used recently when it was found here in the Autumn Wing. I think it's likely that it was used on the glass lid, causing it to crack.
A blowtorch? Who uses a blowtorch to open a glass case? Oh, I get it. Mr. Gusto is trying to melt the frozen ubiquium so we can open the lid.
Indeed.
Yeah, you beat me to the answer by a second, but we'll see who wins in the end.
Don't try and tell us you nearly had it. You didn't have a clue.
Nuh-uh, it was Edgeworth making things hard to understand.
Okay, would you mind updating the recreation so that Mr. Winter can follow along too?
Sure, just for him. Alright, here goes.
Mr. Gusto was alone in the Autumn Wing, and while he was in here, he used this blowtorch to melt the frozen ubiquium on the other side of the lid.
Uh-huh, and?
As the ubiquium melted, it melted with the asphyxian that was already present inside the glass case, thereby producing our poisonous gas. When Mr. Gusto had finally managed to open the lid, he would have released the gas and poisoned himself. He made it as far as the fountain room, where he collapsed.
So we opened the case and out came the gas, huh?
It seems we got there in the end. But why the heck-a-doodle-doo did he want to open the case in the first place? I'm not sure. In fact, we don't even know what his ultimate goal was. I'm thinking he might have come here for the same reason I did. To check out not the Autumn Wing, but the Winter Wing. You remember, right? I thought this was where the Winter Wing was when we first got here.
Caught you out too, did it, my little Ellie Lumpkin? I was ever so confused, what with it being where Chillywinks' room was all those years ago. There's even the same little tree in front of the blessed door. Who wouldn't be all that 6s and 7s, huh?
Did everyone involved with the I-7 incident make the same mistake? I think we need to go and take another look at the Winter Wing. Time to see how quickly I can convince Mr. Winter, I suppose.
Eureka! Ladies and gentlemen, I have the answer.
The answer to what exactly?
The mem is going to end it all. A dramatic exit stage left sort of artsy-fartsy farewell.
Have you been listening all this whole time?
At my level, I barely need to listen to a word and I'll still understand exactly half of what's going on.
Perhaps I can explain a few of the finer details to you later, Eustace. Winner's prerogative.
Winners? Sure. Thanks, Cavell.
Thank you indeed. I find it's always best to leave things like child wrangling to a professional. In the meantime, don't you have something to tell Mr. Edgeworth and his friends?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
What is it now?
Haha, I took the liberty of investigating our friendly pink pharmacist here. Or rather, I had one of my underlings do it for me. That's nothing to brag about, you know. Just shut up! Can't you see I'm talking? Anyway, let's put it into my suicide theory for now. Yeah, I have something more important to tell you. It was Miss Delicious who set up the poison gas trap. Hey! How could you say that?
It was greatly saddened to learn of this, Miss Scone. Your profession is one dedicated to saving lives, and yet you used your expertise to try to take one.
I beg your pudding? How dare you? I didn't know such thing.
Perhaps you could explain, Mr. Winter.
Haha, you bet I can. Get a load of this. This is Miss Delicious's pharmacist license. And it says it right here that she's authorized to handle Infesticide Ultra.
Product that we have established contains asphyxian, one of the ingredients of our poison gas.
Exactly. It's almost impossible for ordinary people to get a hold of that stuff. But Miss Delicious is no ordinary person. She's the card-carrying pharmacist. I didn't do it. This is all just a terrible misunderstanding.
Objection!
And that's not all. There was a bottle of Infesticide Ultra in the victim's pocket. And what do you know? It's covered in your fingerprints. Eek! We know that you and Miss Bound took the victim to the medical room. What better moment to slip the bottle into his pocket, No.
There was only one person on the premises licensed to carry Infesticide Ultra, and that was you, Miss Scone. Furthermore, you are acquainted with Miss Bound, the owner of the gallery, meaning you would have had access to the building and ample opportunity to prepare your trap.
No, dear. Listen, you don't understand. That Infesticide Ultra was stolen from me.
Lying will only lengthen your sentence, Miss Scone.
I'm not lying. Oh, it's in my bag somewhere, I'm sure of it.
What is she looking for?
That's not it. And that's not it.
That cloth looks familiar.
Ah, here we go. I knew it was in here somewhere. Look!
And what is this?
There's something written on it, I think.
April the 1st, complaint filed. Offense, theft, item stolen, Infesticide Ultra, 1 bottle. It's a crime report relating to a theft.
A what? See, you silly billies? I told you somebody pinched it off me. A week ago, no less.
By which you mean to say that it was not in your possession at any point today.
That's exactly what I mean to say. I think the bottle you found might be the one I lost. I always have some in my medicine bag, just in case, you know. and I'm supposed to keep my bag locked up tight, but, well, I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. And now, thanks to silly old me, someone's gone and mixed up a cloud of poison gas with the stuff. I see, but why on earth would you carry such a hazardous substance around with you? Like I said, just in case. You never know when one of them might appear. You mean the ghastly little creatures that run around in people's nice clean kitchens type of them? You could just roll up a newspaper and whack. One and done. Gavel, what do I do now? Of course. I think perhaps it might be wise to confirm the authenticity of the crime report, just to be safe. It can't hurt to verify Miss Cone's story, after all. She may be lying to us. Good idea! Alright, I'm gonna go give the precinct a call. Don't go anywhere. So Miss Cone might not be guilty after all. Indeed, if she really were the one who set up the poison gas trap, then I highly doubt she would have used a method that directly implicates her. So who do you think did it, Smiles? Someone with knowledge of the victim's likely behavior, and the time and the means to prepare, two factors which point to one very specific person. Oh yeah? And who might that be? Don't leave us hanging, big guy. Who had the means to steal the Investicide Ultra and dress one room up to look like another?
Take that!
Surely only was bound. The propriety of these premises could possibly have prepared in such a way. We'll need some solid evidence to support such a theory, nonetheless. So it was her, huh? Strange. It's like he already knew. Ooh, nice shooting, Miles and Reno. I might have to make that associate position a permanent deal. That is not what I was hoping for. Ahem, I'm back with results. The police have confirmed that the theft really was reported and logged. Which means we may have been a little hasty with some of our conclusions, team. You mean that every single one of your conclusions proved to be hogwash? Yeah, no, I mean, we're only just getting started. Oh, then what's our next move? Well, first we need to go and talk to Ms. Bound. And then I'll think about what to do after that. Eustace. Mr. Gusto's real destination appears to have been the Winter Wing. Perhaps it would be worth having someone investigate that room more thoroughly. Oh yeah, we should totally do that. Flatfoot, go investigate the Winter Wing. Yes, sir. Gavel, we're going to talk to Ms. Bound. Very good, Eustace. We'll join you if you don't mind. Alright, you have your orders. Go talk to Bound for me. Hey, Mr. Winter, weren't we going to go talk with Miss Bound ourselves? Sure, but I thought, why not let the grunts handle the grunt work, you know? Means I can just sit back and wait for their report. A winning strategy. You spoiled... he's so exhausting. I need a break. Huh? There's something in the fountain. Yeah, it's a body! What on earth? Order. Order in the court. Somebody call forensics. Bad news, sir. Real bad news! Order! I will have order, detective. The ice sculpture's in the Winter Wing. They've all melted! What? Did... Huh? Say? What is the meaning of this? Now you have two victims. Eesh. Talk about deja vu. It's just like 18 years ago. Even the ice is melted again. Again? This is like some weird rerun. Same people, same everything. I said it before and I'll say it again. This is no coinkydink. You're with me, right, Malzarino? I am. And I think the answers lie in the ice evidence in itself. In fact, I'm convinced of it. Heh, great minds think alike. Alrighty then. Time for another trip down memory lane.
I'll be back in like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so.
I still can't believe the IS-7 incident was Gregory's last case, or that it's been 18 long years since. A murder at a confectionery contest, and in one of the participants, no less, Arctic Frost. They pulled his body out of a treasure chest that was a part of Samson Tangaroa's chocolate tableau. He'd been hit in the head with a large rock salt lamp and subsequently bled to death. We found the lamp hidden inside the candy castle delicious scone I made for the contest. Then, before anyone had the chance to investigate Mr. Frost's own room, all of his icy creations had melted clean away. All of Mr. Frost's work destroyed. Mr. Von Karma wasn't very happy. He told us to get out, and in no uncertain terms. So what do we do now, Mr. E? I can't believe you just up and kicked us out. Von Karma's a total jerk. No, Eddie. It was always the job of the police and the prosecutor's office to investigate the scene. Yeah, but he didn't have to talk to us like that. Who cares if we're cops or attorneys? We should all be working together to find the truth. You can't assume that everybody's aims are the same as your own. You may wish to expose the truth, but others might prefer to accept things at face value. Which way of thinking is right will depend on the person. But what if somebody innocent ended up behind bars because no one managed to uncover the truth? It can happen. We're all human, police and prosecutors included. Which is why defense attorneys exist. Our job is to help people in just such situations, to be friends to the friendless. Friends to the friendless. Now, we may not be able to investigate the Winter Wing as hoped, but that doesn't mean we give up. You're right, Mr. E. I'm sorry. I should have thought more before I opened my big mouth. You're young, Eddie. You'll learn soon enough. I will, I promise! Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, you look like you could use a little pick-me-up. I'm afraid this is all I have, but please, by all means. Whoa! You're the best, Ms. Bound! Thank you. A little sugar boost might actually help. Although these are a little too sweet for my liking. And a little uniquely shaped. I'm sorry if they're not to your taste. No way! Oh, great! You're very kind. Imagine, me of all people, a mediocre confectioner. What? You mean you made these yourself? Yes, Samson loves chocolate, so I had to learn. Keeping him supplied with his favorite treats is just one of my many duties. Although he does spend most of the time coaching me on how to improve my technique. Mr. Tangaroa sure is a lucky guy. Getting to eat homemade sweets made by the one and only Judy Bound whenever he wants sounds amazing. I'm sorry, did you say something? No, nothing at all. Dear, sweet Eddie. You really do still have a lot to learn. It seems you're quite committed to the work you do for Mr. Tangaroa's Ms. Bound. Of course. What right would I have to say here otherwise? What do you mean by that? I was abandoned as a baby, and Mr. Tangaroa took me in. That's right. One snowy Christmas Eve many years ago, he found me on the steps of this very mansion. He saved my life and became the father I never had. I can never repay him, so my work for him is the least I can do, and I'll be here for him for as long as he needs me. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I must be getting old. I'm welling up a little myself. And to think today is Christmas Eve, and I can't even give him his present in person. I'd do anything to save him, anything! Please, if there's something I can do to help, just say it. We're very grateful, Miss Bound. Perhaps you could help us by answering a question. Did you know the victim? Not very well, I'm afraid. Oh, but if you wanted to see some of his work, I have a picture of the sculptures he made for the final. My, they're stunning! Aren't they? I think they're masterpieces. Who would have thought you could make such intricate statues out of flavored ice? Samson adored them too. Oh hey, that's Taurus and Gemini, right? I didn't know you were keen on constellations and the zodiac, Eddie. Oh, I love it. The stories those stars can tell. Take Gemini, for example. See the lyre? That's what the harp is called. And the arrow and the... Hold up. The lyre doesn't have any strings.
Huh, did Mr. Frost forget to add them, maybe? That doesn't sound like something he'd forget to do. Wait, really? But I thought you just said you didn't know him very well. Oh, well, he didn't seem like the type. It seems she's got something to hide, too. You took this photograph yourself, Miss Bound? Yes, I use this instant camera here. It develops the pictures as soon as you take them. It's so useful.
Ooh, I'd love to see it in action.
Hehe. Then why don't I take your picture? Yes! Come on, Mystery! Let's get a shot of the both of us!
Well, alright then. It would be a shame to waste a good hair day.
Ready? Say cheese! There, all done. And the picture's yours to keep, Mr. Fender. Oh my gosh, thank you so much! That's such a cool camera! Well, it's the only one we've got, so we use it for all our picture-taking needs. It's very convenient, but the lack of negatives is something of a shame.
So there aren't any negatives for us to reference, huh?
I assume Mr. Tangaroa used the same camera during the contest. Yes, you assume correctly. He used it for some work-in-progress pictures of a seascape, and later to take some photos of the other contestants' works.
But didn't you take a picture of the body when you discovered it?
And didn't you discover the body while the judging was still underway? Ah yes, Samson wanted pictures of all the entrants' completed rooms, but the film ran out just as he finished photographing Mr. Gusto's work. So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were.
In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected.
Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. But he thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way.
But had he really, though?
I went to our living area to change the film and was passing through the fountain room on my way back when I heard the sound of something break and collapse in Samson's room. Samson, are you in here? Ah! Mr. Frost's body was just lying there. I was in total shock. It was all too much. But I remember I called the police and then I went to tell everybody else. And the camera, it's been with me ever since.
I see.
I'd be grateful if you could lend us the camera and this picture, Miss Bound. Of course. Here you go. Thank you.
Detective Bad! Miss Scone!
Are they done investigating?
They're done with me, that's for certain. The big meanie told me to clear off.
Honestly, that mannequins will be the end of me. The cheek of him.
Guess he got tired of people cluttering up his crime scene. Did he run you off too, Detective Bad? Yeah. Karma seems to think I'm a nuisance. Can't do things his way with me around.
Why would Mr. Von Karma go so far as to exclude his own lead detective?
Still, got a pretty good look at the scene. As for Gusto, he's enjoying a nice little chat right now in Frost's room. What about the fact that Miss Bound said she saw him going in there during the contest?
Mr. Gusto went into Mr. Frost's room. That's right, and I have to say he looked very much like he didn't want to be seen. I don't know what he could have been up to, but...
Well, he's candidate number 1 at the moment, as the guy who melted Frost's work.
But is that really why Mr. Gusto went into Mr. Frost's room?
Got a photo of the room right here, if you need it. It's all yours.
Wait, what? Why would you just give it to us?
Do I gotta spell it out for you, kid? I'm offering to help you guys. I want the truth about this case to come out.
Detective. Really, Detective Bad, Mr. Von Karma won't be happy about this.
Yeah, well, I'm not Von Karma's stooge. If he's gonna stonewall my investigation, then I'm not gonna play by the book either. Can't let some pesky rules keep in front of the truth. Now can I, Mr. Edgeworth?
Indeed. Thank you, Detective Bad. Wow, I can't believe you won him over, Mr. E.
Well, I haven't the foggiest what you're all going on about, but here's your new friends, eh?
It's definitely nice to have the good detective on our side, that's for sure. Alright, let's take a look at that photograph. Here. This is what Frost's room looks like right now. Yikes! There's nothing left of his flavored ice sculptures but puddles! The floor appears to be completely covered in pile of blue liquid. I should compare this with the photo I just borrowed from Ms. Bound. I assume that the unplugged power cord has something to do with all this. Yeah. Once that was out of the socket, display cases lost power, and up the temperature went. It looks like they were all connected to the same power strip. Do you have any idea when it was unplugged? Nope. Still working on that. The sculptures are beautiful. What a waste. You can say that again. I should have taken a few more bites out of them while I had the chance. So they tasted good? Did they ever? I've never tried ice so scrumptious in all my life. Really? Man, I wish I could have had a bite. Well, scrumptious except for the salty bit, of course. That was unbearable. The salty bit? It's in the other photo you've got there. This bit, the harpy thing. Gemini's liar. Wait, that's why it had no strings. Because you ate them. I didn't eat that much, you cheeky little devil. I told you it was all horrible and salty. It's interesting that only one particular part of this particular sculpture tasted different from the rest. And could somebody other than Miss Scone really be responsible for eating the rest of the strings? Did you notice anything else, Miss Scone? Come to think of it, I did. There was a funny little mark on Chillyweech's work. It was 2 little letters. Let me see if I can draw it for you. There we go. Yes, it looked just like that. It's almost like a signature or something. Wait. I just knew Mr. Frost wouldn't have made that harp without strings. He's not the type to skip an important detail like that. I hope you don't mind me asking, Miss Bound. But are you certain you didn't know Mr. Frost particularly well? What? No, I barely knew him, I swear. Is that so? You certainly seem to have some strong opinions about his attitude toward his work. No, I just... The sculptures were so carefully made that I didn't think he'd miss something so important. I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. You have a more personal connection to his work than that. What makes you say that? I have an item of evidence that appears to have been one of Mr. Frost's possessions. And it shares the key feature with another piece of evidence. Well, I won't know what you're talking about if you don't share. So what are these 2 pieces of evidence of yours? Which 2 items point to Mr. Frost? This is the first.
Take that!
And now the second.
Take that!
Miss Scone found 2 letters carved into Mr. Frost's ice sculptures. I think they were a signature of sorts. After all, it's unusual for an artist to initial their work. I guess not. That's right, dear. It's just like you said. Chillyweech's statues had the letters PH carved in them, plain as day. PH? Shouldn't it be AF? You'd think so, but take a look at this. It's the seal we found at the crime scene. It seems reasonable to assume that it fell from Mr. Frost's pocket. And when pressed into the surface of an item, it would leave behind the letters PH. The same pottery mark we see imprinted on the bottom of the items in this tea set. The same pottery mark. We have already established that the tea set is the work of the sculptor, Paul Leek. From that, we can assume that these same letters would mark any item out as a piece of his work. A fact of which you are well aware, correct, Ms. Bound? Well, yes. I know that he always marks his work with his initials like that. He's never revealed his true identity in public, so it's the only way to know his works are truly his. You mean Paul Leek was... That's right, Detective. Artie Frost had another identity. He was no ordinary confectioner, at least, as far as Ms. Bound was concerned. For you see, Mr. Frost was in fact... Mr. Frost was in fact... none other than famed sculptor Paul Halik. What? Mr. Frost and Paul Halik were the same person? But it's not like the mark's hard to copy, though. Anyone who's seen it can fake being him with it. Not exactly conclusive proof that Frost was who you say he was. It was proof enough for Miss Bound. What matters is that she believed it. His true identity will have to be investigated by the good people of the precinct. Huh. Alright. I'll have the boys look into it. I should have known I couldn't hide it from you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you admit, You were aware of who Mr. Frost really was. I was. When I discovered his body, I saw the seal you found. Don't ask me how, but I just knew straight away that he was my dear Paul Halik. Imagine, his entries in a confectionery contest were his final legacy. A great man like that. And be honest, did you enter Mr. Frost's room at any point? What? Why are you asking me that? A photograph of Mr. Frost's room. I'd like to know when it was taken. Oh, I must have gotten it mixed up with the one Samson took during the judging.
Objection!
I'm afraid I find that rather hard to believe. You said yourself that the camera ran out of film during the judging, and that you've had charge of the camera since before Mr. Tangaroa had the chance to visit Mr. Frost's room. That's how you were able to take that picture when you discovered Mr. Frost's body. I suppose so. This suggests that you took only 2 pictures with the new film, one of Mr. Frost's body and one of his room. But I have a piece of evidence that says otherwise. You do? Which piece of evidence contradicts the assumption that Ms. Bound only took 2 pictures?
Take that!
The camera? You gave the picture of the body to the police, and the picture of Mr. Frost's room to me. Oh, and you gave us that picture you took of me and Mr. Edgeworth, too. 3 photographs in total, and yet the film cartridge in this camera only has 3 exposures remaining. Out of a total of 20. You took more pictures, and I want to know what of. I'll need to see all the photos you took. Perhaps then we'll finally learn what you were really up to. I'm so sorry. I confess, I've been lying to you.
These are all shots of Frost's room.
I'm so sorry.
Looks like she took pictures of his work from every possible angle. And when they were taken, the ice still hadn't melted yet. Wait, don't tell me it was you.
It was. At least, I'm pretty sure it was.
You are? Why?
Well, you see, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Halik's work, as you know. I was petrified that they might be ruined, what with the investigation that was going on and everything. So I thought I should at least capture the sculptures on film for posterity.
And how did that make them melt?
I think perhaps I was so intent on getting the perfect photographs that I might have tripped over the power cord without noticing.
By mistake, are you sure?
I didn't notice it at the time, but, well, how could I have been so careless as to cause the loss of his final masterpieces?
It seems a little convenient to me. I'm not sure I believe it, but I'm not in a position to refute it either.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
Please, don't worry about it. The important thing is that you told us the truth.
What he said. No hard feelings, Miss Bound. Thank you.
Mr. Edgeworth. Picture's yours. Hope it helps.
Are you infernal nuisances still here? You don't know when to give up. Linger for as long as you like. The answer is still the same. You are not part of this investigation.
Whether we're part of it or not, we'll uncover the truth nonetheless.
It seems you don't know when to shut up either, but I commend you on your stubbornness.
Mr. Von Karma, I'm afraid I'm the one responsible for Mr. Frost's work melting.
What? What is the meaning of this?
I'm so sorry. And to you, Mr. Gusto.
Humph, no concern of mine. I didn't do anything, and Mr. Von Karma agrees.
Nothing at all, Mr. Gusto.
You went into Mr. Frost's room, didn't you? Perhaps you could tell us why.
Sure, I was... Silent! You were not to give the attorney even the tiniest shred of information. Duty bound, you're coming with me. I have reason to believe that you are an accomplice of the accused Samson Tangaroa.
No,
I will be interrogating you personally, so you had better get your story in order.
I understand. Wait, please. I'm not done questioning her myself.
And you think I care because? Bad, Gusso, and you, Scone. I have questions for all of you, and I expect answers. Humph.
Fine by me.
Oh, you could at least ask nicely, mannequins.
He took literally everyone with him. Indeed. Well, I suppose that means there's little point to us hanging around either. Perhaps it's time we get going anyway. It is rather late. I hope the snow is let up. You're right. Home time. Heh. I guess my stomach's in agreement, too. Haha. Alright, let's go grab a burger before my own stomach starts grumbling, too. Haha. Sounds good to me. Let's eat up and rest up. We'll need to be fighting fit for tomorrow. We will indeed. And our first port of call will be with Mr. Tangaroa. Are we still in the middle? No, we're not. Okay, that's the end of the stream for today. I for some reason, I thought that the middle portion of this case would end at the end of us being in the past, but I guess not.
Alright, cool.
God, Gavel and Eustace just honestly shouldn't be in this case. I think they drag it down. Like, they really don't need to be here. Alright. Very cool.